Millions are being made every day during this recession. Could Telecommute fuel the next business revolution that spurs economic prosperity? What stocks should you be keeping an eye on? We'll discuss just that in this video. I'm a network engineer in my day job and have seen firsthand the change in opinions on working remotely since the beginning of all the craziness. You know what they say, necessity is the mother of all invention. There's nothing like a real-world apocalyptic scenario to spur innovation and highlight what is important, securing our lives, family, and making money. And we're doing that through Telecommute. Ayo, I'm Sean McMurray and this is my channel Analytical Overdrive, where we talk stocks, real estate investing, and cryptos.
I have something for you. Something that'll make you rich. You want to be rich, don't you?
Oh yeah, sure. That's rich. You gonna make me rich? The fact is, we all weren't blessed with a copy of Gray's Sports Almanac from our future selves, allowing us to make winning sports bets and making us millionaires. The next best thing is research and paying attention to trends. By doing this, we get better insights into what best to invest into. So I make no promises and guarantees, but if you watch until the end, I may be able to spark the thought that will help you select a stock that just may make you a millionaire. The apocalypse has forced us to see the benefits of Telecommute. The crazy thing is, this is not some new concept. I mean, really, big whoop. Tools that enable collaboration from a distance have been here for decades. Cisco WebEx has been around since '95, Skype was founded in 2003, and Zoom in 2011. Yet, as of 2017, the US Census reported that only 5.2% of workers in the US worked at home. Why? In my opinion, companies were reluctant to get out of the old way of doing things. They want butts and seats for 8 hours a day so they can keep an eye on you, regardless if studies indicated it was no longer efficient and there are better ways of doing things. According to an article I found on LinkedIn, Sarah Sutton indicates the following 3 fears as the top reasons companies have failed to adopt telecommuting. Fear number 1, telecommuting is unmanageable. Fear number 2, telecommuting only benefits the employee. Fear number 3, telecommuting is uncharted territory. Companies couldn't be more wrong. It only took a viral apocalypse for them to realize that. I mean, sure, you're not standing over someone's shoulder cracking the whip, but what is the purpose of managing an employee? To ensure they are being productive. According to a Forbes article, one California-based company has seen a 47% increase in worker productivity. According to businessnewsdaily.com, one study states remote employees work 1.4 more days per month than their office counterparts, resulting in more than 3 additional weeks per year. According to Stanford professor Nicholas Bloom, a study he conducted showed employee attrition decreased by 50% among telecommuters, and they took shorter breaks, had fewer sick days, and took less time off. So is it unmanageable? No. I mean, what do you all think? Comment below. Do you need a manager standing over your shoulder cracking the whip to ensure you're getting work done? The benefits of telecommuting affect the employee as well as the employer. I mean, sure, the most obvious benefit to the employee is elimination of sitting in traffic for 2 hours a day in my case, which means less stress as I'm not yelling at the idiot who's driving 40 miles per hour in the passing lane while talking on the phone. Goodness gracious. As well as saving money on gas, wear and tear on my vehicle, and in the future, automobile insurance. People are using this extra time to sleep more, spend more time with family, and dedicate time to hobbies, all making for a less stressed employee. The benefits to the employer? Well, the bottom line. I've seen an average savings to the employer at $11,000 per half-time telecommuter per year. The primary savings, the result of increased productivity, lower real estate costs, reduced absenteeism and turnover, and better natural disaster preparedness. That's according to globalworkplaceanalytics.com, who has also developed a telework savings calculator that companies can use to identify the cost savings provided by Telecommute. Recently, Mark Zuckerberg has stated some employees may take a pay cut if they move to a less expensive area. I've seen examples of up to a 30% reduction in pay. Whew! That's hard to stomach, at least on the surface. Let me ask you, any Facebook employees watching, really anyone, if you could live in the place you wanted to live and still maintain your current job, telecommuting instead, would you take a pay cut? Comment below. Back to the point. So what does that mean? Let's take Facebook, for example. Mark Zuckerberg has announced that at least half of the employees at Facebook will work remotely over the next 5 to 10 years. They employ 48,628 people. Let's cut that in half, which gives us 24,134 people working remotely. 24,134 times $11,000 equals $265,474,000 in savings a year. Hold up now. Let's do something else here. This is more what if, as I only have part of the metrics, but I think the implications are quite interesting. Let's assume the same 24,134 people move out of Silicon Valley faster than Epstein's murder was swept under the rug. These 24,134 people each were making a Facebook median salary of $240,000 a year. Each of these employees takes a 30% pay cut because they moved to a less expensive area. $240,000 times 30% equals $72,000 in savings per person per year. $72,000 times 24,134 people equals $1,737,648,000 per year in savings for Facebook. Put that together with the $265,474,000 in savings from above, $1,737,648,000 plus $265,474,000 equals $2,003,122,000 per year in savings. You can easily see it's a universal benefit to employee and employer. That's not even touching up on the positive impact to the environment and community. That's 24,134 cars that are not sitting in traffic spewing toxic gas into the air every morning and afternoon. Lastly, telecommuting is not this new phenomenon. Companies have been doing this in one shape or another for years. We have years of data to review that tout its benefits. It may be uncharted territory for that particular company, but we counter lack of experience with education and knowledge. Working remote is here to stay. Or is it? Mark Zuckerberg recently made a big prediction about the future of Facebook. He believes the company is in for a major change in the next 5 to 10 years, but he wasn't hinting at Facebook as a product. He was referencing the way his employees will conduct business moving forward. At least half of the company will permanently move to remote worker status. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey emailed his employees telling them they'd be allowed to work from home permanently, even after things have opened. Square is following suit, as is Dell, Zillow, VMware, and Fidelity National Information Services, who has 95% of its employees working from home with no plans of returning. Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Box, to name a few, have extended their work from home policy to at least October, and in some cases, until 2021. A survey of 1,200 employees between April 16 and April 17 discovered 20% of their employers are discussing how they can make remote work more of an option in the future. And last but not least, 43% of full-time American employees say they want to work remotely more often even after the economy has reopened. That's rather compelling. But what does it all mean, Basil? We could be in the midst of capitalism's next rising tide, as analyst Vic Learman from Stansberry Research wrote in his article, Capitalism's Next Rising Tide is Here. He explains that many of these future telecommuters and their $100,000 to $200,000 salaries, referencing software engineers working at Facebook, are dual income homes. That places these families solidly at the upper end of the middle class in the US. As these high income families move to cheaper rural areas, there is going to be a boom in those areas. He further describes these type of families as drivers of economic cliches and explains that these families are consumers and consume they shall. Now that they are working from home, they are going to use more resources from home, i.e. power, potentially increased internet speeds and bandwidth, and more toilet paper. Understanding this demographic may hugely benefit your portfolio. Understanding things like where they want to live, where they like to buy their groceries, what cars they like to buy, and where they like to shop. As companies embrace telecommute and make it more of a standard as opposed to an option, they are going to adjust how they do business. If they haven't moved to the cloud, chances are they will. Products such as Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, and Amazon's AWS Cloud are going to see an increase in revenue, as are the data center companies that support those tools. Data companies such as Equinix and Digital Realty. As these companies adapt telecommute, they are going to need new and better ways to collaborate. Companies that enable collaboration at a distance, such as Microsoft Azure, Skype, owned by Microsoft, Slack, and Zoom for that matter, will see an increase in revenue. I mean, Zoom has already seen a 155% increase in its stock price since January. And in my opinion, it's not over. Then we look at the companies themselves that are adapting telecommute as a standard. In Facebook's case, they can see a savings of up to $2,3,122,000 per year. When the bottom line increases, that generally reflects in the stock price. So what stocks am I keeping an eye on as it relates to this? Facebook, Twitter, Zoom, Dell, Zillow, VMware. Real estate companies such as Simon Property Group and SL Green Realty Corp, Equinix and Digital Realty. I'd put Google, Amazon, and Tesla on the list, but they are currently outside of my price range. I'm also looking at power companies and even solar companies, as these folks tend to be a bit more environmentally minded. You see, there's a ripple effect to the economy as a whole if and when telecommute is adopted on a wider scale. A butterfly flaps its wings in Tokyo and a tornado occurs in Tennessee. The company you invest in today may be the Googles and the Amazons of tomorrow. Understanding what we know and how our world has permanently changed since the apocalypse, understanding those trends is going to put you at the forefront of those trends. You'll ride the waves, much like Rodrigo Coxa rides the largest waves of the world. What do you all think? Is telecommute here to stay? Do you think telecommute will have a big impact on our economy? Comment below. I'm interested in what you all are thinking. While you're doing that, please make sure to smash the like button. Share the video and please subscribe. Your support is needed and it's greatly appreciated. Oh, real quick, what pop culture references did I make through this video? Whoever can guess them all correctly will be an honorable mention in my next video. Actually, one last thing. Thank you to my jump cut classmate, Teresa, for introducing me to this topic. I'm Sean McMurray and this is my channel, Analytical Overdrive. Ayo ha!